Hello, SquirrelTribe. I have a question here for you, and I have an answer for you as well. What would you call a country with unrealized capital gains taxes, high corporate taxes, price caps on food and groceries, and heavy government involvement in the housing market? It's a good question. These are all of the things that Kamala Harris is touting as her policies for her presidential term if she's elected on November 5th. Let me give you the answer of exactly what this means, the answer to this question. I would call that country a socialist paradise or a communist utopia, depending on the specific details and the degree to which these policies are enforced. These terms encapsulate the economic policies that prioritize government intervention, wealth redistribution, and control over the market. The country would be characterized by a lack of free market principles and limited individual economic freedom. This is from Uncensored AI. The question was asked, and that is the answer that it gave. So for those of you who have been paying attention to what's been going on with Kamala Harris, or even just at the DNC in Chicago right now, the talks that are coming out are Kamala Harris stating that she wants to add all these taxes and tariffs and everything else, and it's going to destroy our economy. We're going to jump into a little bit of everything right now, but I wanted to start off with that, just so we all have an idea of exactly what the next 4 years could look like with the high corporate taxes, unrealized capital gains taxes, price caps on food and groceries, and heavy government involvement in the housing market. It is not a good look. It may sound good to some on paper, but in actuality, if they were to sit there and do I don't know what it's called when you make the scenarios, when you say, okay, if this happens, then this is what could happen. If we do this, this could happen. They need to do those things because right now they're just putting out these ideas without understanding what the consequences of those ideas would be. So last night was day 2 of the Democrat National Convention in Chicago. Y'all, day 1 and day 2, night and day difference. Day 1 felt like it was more designed to be dignified. That's what it felt like, okay? It was designed to be dignified for all of the people that were watching across the world, not just here in the USA. Last night, it was more like they turned it into a party, like some weird rave wannabe kind of thing. And what I noticed while watching the DNC last night, here's what I noticed. The first night, I thought that this is what was going on. Last night, I really did notice it. The people in the convention themselves are not actual people like you and I. They are people in political power from each state, and then whatever cabinet kind of people they have with them. I don't know the correct terminology here. I'm going to go with cabinet. Whatever the cabinet type people they have with them, their friends and their families, and then some random people that they paid to be there. And they had that for every single state last night at the DNC. The other people that are there are media. They had 15,000 people from media, whether it was journalism, written journalism, whether it was news anchors, whether it was social media, anything like that. 15,000 people, and then 5,000 delegates themselves. So you have this packed looking DNC, but it's not people like you and I that are going to be making the votes, that are going to be making in theory, the decision of who's going to win the presidency. It's their friends, their families, their cronies, the ones who already are part of the whole shebang, everything that's going on. And I think it's very important that that is remembered and not forgotten, because if you're looking at the DNC and you're thinking to yourself, man, look how many voting Americans with no ties or investment into who wins, like monetarily or whatever else, or political seat wise, you're looking at it and you think that's a lot of people there. It's really not. It's literally full of people that are pulling the strings, not people like you and I. So this I want to show you this. They did this thing called a roll call last night. They were doing I guess it's like a delegate roll call, and for every single state, and it took friggin' forever to do. And they went to every single state, and whoever's the governor or the senator or even a mayor from the state, somebody would stand up and say, and they'd say something about their state. They say Georgia, blah, 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 blah. They'd say Mississippi, blah, blah, blah. And then they would say how many votes they're giving to Kamala Harris. What I found extremely interesting, and I want you guys to hear this, is that there were 2 states that decided to pass, that decided not to say anything, And one of them, y'all, surprisingly enough, although not surprisingly, the fact that this state decided to pass, I think should say volumes to everybody. Watch this. Let's see if I can get it to work. Play. Okay, I probably shouldn't play the music because YouTube's going to do something really stupid. Okay, let's see. So this is what I was talking about. All these people there. Listen to him.
Mr. Secretary, the great state of California passes at this time.
Bro, they passed. They decided not to say any delegates, not to give any delegates to Kamala at the DNC. That is absolutely wild, given the fact that they were the ones who started with giving her delegates for her campaign. Them, and then I think Tennessee was the second one to jump on board with giving her delegates. But for them to back out of it is absolutely wild. So after this all happened, after every single state went through, and like I said, it took forever. Every single state went through. Georgia brought out Lil Jon. It was the most cringy thing. They paid him like $100,000 to walk out and sing or rap, whatever, up until they did their delegates, and then he left. Like, it was just like a weird 2-minute thing with Lil Jon, can't say little, that's weird. And they paid him like $100,000 to be there. Anyway, after that, Kamala and Walz come out, and she is now referring to Tim Walz as Coach Walz, because it's supposed to give people this sense of he's the guy next door, the person who teaches or coaches your son's football, your daughter's soccer, your whatever else. Referred to him as Coach Walz. At least she didn't refer to him by his incorrect stolen valor name, which I won't even repeat. And now she is talking about she is running a people-powered campaign. That was her little pitch last night. People-powered campaign. That it's for the people, by the people, whatever else. And I'm still waiting to see what people actually know what she's about, actually know what she has done. Because what I took away from the DNC last night was, once again, you had a lot of people get up and talk. Chuck Schumer came out doing some weird little dance shuffle kind of thing. And all I could think of was he looks like if the Penguin from Batman lost a ton of weight and then put on a blue suit. That's what Chuck Schumer looks like to me when he was doing his little dance shuffle out onto the stage, to the podium. And every single person that went out and talked last night, whether it was Chuck Schumer, whether it was Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, everybody else that spoke, they had more random people there. What I realized is none of them are actually, Bernie Sanders, can't forget Bernie Sanders. What I realized is none of them are actually giving you any reason politically why Kamala Harris should be a president. They're telling you that she's a nice person. She's a friend. She'll call you on your birthday. She loves her husband. Look at how she smiles. She has joy. Bro, none of those things matter to me. Not a single one of those things matters to me in the least. What is she going to do about foreign policy? What is she going to do about unemployment? What is she going to do about illegal immigration? What is she going to do about our economy? What is she going to do about all different kinds of things that have nothing to do with singing happy birthday, holding your husband's hand, allowing your stepdaughter to be a part of, iffy things? None of those things matter. Yet that's all that they can talk about. Not a single person could say anything about her policies, what she has done, what she will do, what she could do. Michelle Obama came out and said that, she said that Kamala Harris is the best person to possibly run this country right now. Literally, out of 330 million people, she is saying that Kamala Harris is the best option that we have. That does not say a lot to me, okay? So, Ana Navarro from The View came out after Kamala and Walz did their little thing. She comes out. She's horrible at reading scripts, number one. First, she comes out in full Spanish talking to everybody, and I'm like, that's cute, USA. That's all. Just, we're the USA, but it's cool. And then she starts talking about how Kamala likes dogs and how dogs like Kamala Harris. And then she makes something about we need a president who likes dogs, not a president who's associated with people who shoot their dogs. And I'm like, how does that even, what are we doing here? The DNC, they're literally turning what should be a political 4-day movement on why Kamala Harris is even viable as a president and what she could bring to the table and what she will do for our country. They're turning it into a popularity contest. That's all it is. They spend the entire time crapping on Donald Trump and then trying to tell you that Kamala Harris is such a nice girl, nice woman. Why is this what the taxpayer money and everything else is being spent on for the DNC? Why are the police in Chicago being forced to stay there and keep them protected so they can have a popularity contest, so they can spend 4 days talking trash, lying while talking trash about Donald Trump and about Republicans and about conservatives in general? It's very hard to watch the DNC and not want to throw something at my TV. I'm not a violent person, but I could probably have violent tendencies. I'm a very emotional person. We'll go with that. And watching the DNC and listening to the lies that come out, I'm going, who allows this? Like, why is this what we're doing right now? Anyway. Okay, I'm going to continue on with what we were doing. I'm sorry. So, this is Kamala Harris. She proposes a 45% long-term capital gains tax, the highest since 1922, plus 25% tax on unrealized capital gains for wealthy individuals, which then she gets to decide what wealthiest individuals are. The problem here is I read a thing that was talking about if you, let's say you put your house on the market and I'm going to mess that up. I'm not even going to attempt it. Look, I'm not even going to attempt trying to explain this unrealized capital gains thing because I will destroy it. I'm going to figure that part out and bring it to you later. I don't think I saved anything on it. No, I didn't. Oh, this is hilarious though. Look, there's a transgender at the DNC that tries to basically dunk on Donald Trump, but then immediately forgets what they were going to say. This person is from New Jersey, introduced themselves as a she, her, although it is a man. It says, "My name is Dr. Joey Perella, pronouns she, her. I'm a proud resident of the Garden State. I'm proud to stand with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they stand with the LGBTQ community. It's time to turn the page on Trump for..." Thank you. Completely forgot what they were going to say. Let me play this for you. Wait, stop it. The man voice that comes out of this person dressed as a woman is amusing.
My name is Dr. Joey Perella, pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a proud resident of the Garden State. I'm proud to stand with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they stand with the LGBTQ community. It's time to turn the page on Trump first. Thank you.
It's time to turn the page on Trump for... Thank you. Like, okay, that was just amusing to me, and I wanted to share that with you. There was really no reason behind it. I just thought it was funny. I also realized that the DNC has started playing music while everybody's talking in hopes that people like me and other YouTubers or social media people that are monetized can't bring you the information. There's a very good chance that by the time I'm done with this and I try to upload it to YouTube, they're going to say that having any of that music in the background, we had Snoop for California. You have, I think that's John Cougar Mellencamp right there. I think that was Born in the USA. Isn't that John Cougar Mellencamp? Anyway, they're going to say that because that's copywritten music, my video is not going to be able to go through. So there's the possibility this is going on Patreon. I'm talking to myself and I realize that. But this right here is exactly why the Biden-Harris or the Harris-Biden or the Harris-Walz admin want an open border policy. So this came out yesterday, and I just want to read this to you. This is not DNC related, but it is something that we need to fully understand before we let people elect Harris and Walz into the White House. The Harris-Biden admin admitted hundreds of thousands of smuggled children are now missing, likely sold into sex and labor trafficking. That's much higher than the 85,000 number previously reported. According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Office of Inspector General, as of May 2024, just a couple months ago, ICE had not served an NTA or scheduled a court date for more than 291,000 UCs. In each ICE location we visited, ERO could not serve NTAs on all UCs. At one location we visited, 34,823, which is 84% of 41,638 UCs in the local area had not been served NTAs to initiate immigration proceedings. Without an ability to monitor the location and status of UCs, ICE has no assurance the UCs are safe from trafficking, exploitation, or forced labor. I said it a long time ago. that the reason that they are okay with an open border is because child trafficking and sex trafficking and pedophilia is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. The amount of money that is spent on things like that amongst people who are high up, even your grocery boy could be doing this. Your local school department person, your local mayor, anybody could be doing these kind of things. Is a multi-billion-dollar a year in the United States alone industry. Child sex trafficking is an industry. How extremely disturbing is that? And all these kids that are coming over the border illegally, they then get separated from their parents. They get told that they have to go over here or do whatever. And now you can't find any of these kids. That is something that needs to be remembered, talked about, thought about, shared out, because the Harris-Walz campaign, they're not talking about the border. They're only talking about Donald Trump. They are not talking about the border at all, because they know there's no positive comments that can be made about an open border. Not a single one. I dare anybody to try to make one positive comment about an open border. There is no positivity to it. It is a negative no matter how you look at it. Now, Michigan, I thought you guys should see this. Yesterday, Donald Trump went to Michigan while the DNC was going on. The Patriots in Michigan have basically shut down the streets of Howell, Michigan to welcome President Trump into their town. He's not even holding a rally, y'all. He's not even holding a rally. He's giving remarks on his historic plans to combat crime, but the people filled the street to shower him with love and joy. Let's see if I can get this to... I just want you to see this. I want you to see, this is them driving through Howell, Michigan. Look how many Trump supporters are out there in Michigan. Now, Michigan is the same state where that redheaded batshit crazy lady came out on the first night of the DNC and threw down some massive Project 2025 book, licked her lips like a lizard, and then started talking about Donald Trump and Project 2025, which Project 2025, again, I will tell you one more time, is not a Donald Trump initiative. That is something from the Heritage Foundation that started in the Reagan era, and it's for any conservative president who would like to take part of it. And that is not Donald Trump. He's said it numerous times. He has nothing to do with that. Now, speaking of Trump, this is amazing. President Trump plans to announce at a campaign stop today his intention to make it a felony for doctors to perform gender reassignment surgeries on minors without parental consent. A felony. Now, this will have the left up in arms. I can guarantee that at tonight's DNC, there will be a lot of talk about how Donald Trump wants to take away the rights of children. Guess what children don't have? Rights. Not like that. Not when it comes to having mutilation surgery on themselves. The parents that allow something like that should automatically lose custody of their children, in my opinion, no matter what. Just take the kids away, because those parents are clearly mentally deranged and are not fit to be parents if they think that an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 12-year-old, hell, 16-year-old should have some sort of gender mutilation because they're confused in their mind about if they're a boy or a girl because of all the bullshit that's being spread on social media, in movies and TV shows, through their parents and their friends, through our government, through Kamala Harris and her crappy little whatever. Listen, if there was no other reason to vote for Donald Trump, if you were on the fence and you're like, I don't know who I'm going to vote for, I need a deciding factor, I need a sliding factor that's going to tip the scales one way or the other, this should be it. This should be it right here. The fact that Donald Trump is going to make it a felony for doctors to perform gender reassignment surgeries on a minor without a parental consent. That should be the reason where you go, you know what? Donald Trump it is. Especially if you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, friends with kids. You've ever seen a kid in your life. You know that kids exist. This should be the reason why you decide to vote for Donald Trump, if nothing else. All right. High horse off. Done. I'm over it. We're good. We're moving on. Well, y'all, this cracked me up. I cannot wait to show you this. So listen. We talked about Howell, Michigan, right? Donald Trump went to Howell, Michigan. And this, wait, don't work. Wait, pause. Okay, let me turn the volume up because you have got to hear this. Oh, ready? Okay, here we go. Ready?
Thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you for coming.
Wait.
Who was here in 2021? Thank you, everybody.
Okay, let me explain what happened. But it's the ha ha ha. Thank you, everybody, that killed me. So let me explain what happened. So Donald Trump in Howell, Michigan, it says Trump just nuked a reporter. So this reporter that you couldn't hear, and I know, but I wanted you to see the video. The reporter asked to respond to a Harris campaign accusation if Trump is only coming to Howell, Michigan to appeal to the white supremacists in the area. Trump then stops and goes, who was here in 2021? Their same reporter goes, Joe Biden. And Trump says, haha, thank you. So if they're going to try to say that Trump is racist for happening to be in Howell, Michigan, because there also happens to be white supremacists there, then in theory, they have to call Joe Biden a racist because he was there in 2021 in Howell, Michigan, where the white supremacists are. There's also pictures of Joe Biden with like the head of the Klan. And then he spoke at his funeral. So in theory, based off everything, it really gives more proof that Joe Biden would be racist versus Donald Trump. But that's just, that's just my opinion on that one. The other thing with the DNC last night, when Michelle Obama came out, I was looking in her crotchal region. I'm like, is there going to be junk there? Is there going to be something jumping, moving, wiggling? Is there going to be a bulge? I tried, but she wore like a really dark blue, black kind of outfit. It was very hard to tell. And then she stood behind the podium, so it was hard to see if there was a lot of, stuff going on or not. Okay, let's see. Let me get this one up here. So this one also, Tim Walz, we know, has been full of shit since day one. He's stolen valor. He's called himself the three-word term that he never was. He said he coached a high school football team and took them to victory or whatever else. No, he didn't. He was an unpaid coach because of his felony DUI. He's also said numerous times that without IVF, which is one of the campaign pushes is IVF, that his wife wouldn't have been able to have children. Well, Tim Walz's wife confirms that she never underwent IVF despite him heavily suggesting she did. Confirmed it. This woman here, I think her name is Gwen, she came out and said, no, I did not go through IVF. I don't think Gwen likes her husband. I've noticed this so far at the DNC, and any time that they're supposed to be together, I don't think she likes her husband. I think she knows her husband might be closeted. He might be gay, given the fact that he tried to start a anti-bullying all boys gay only club while he was a teacher in high school. And then some of the students came out at that time, before he was ever political, came out at that time with issues against him, saying that they felt uncomfortable, that he was hitting on them, that he was making it very awkward and whatever else. But straight white man, sure. I'm pretty sure that he's been hanging out in the closet for quite a while. I would like to give you just a small little baby hint of proof of what is going on at the DNC. This says, my buddies and I were at the driving range today when two guys in suits and one woman in a dress approached us and asked us if we had plans tonight. They then offered us each $150 if we attended tonight's DNC. We're not very political, but we could use $150, so we agreed. We thought they were kidding. Sure enough, they gave us each a ticket. We had to use that to get into the DNC in the side hallway, and then we'd be paid in cash. We thought it was a joke, but we wanted to put it to the test. Sure enough, we did it and were indeed paid $150. We took some free pizza and left. We're voting for Trump. Numerous people have come out saying they've been paid. There was a view last night when they were panning around the crowd, and they were talking to one of the states, and the girl behind one of the guys is the same one that has come out on social media saying that they offered her, I think it was $10,000 to make videos and show up at the DNC. And she's sitting right there knowing that she got paid to be there. Not because she gives two shits about Kamala Harris or the DNC or Joe Biden or any of that, but because they put money in her pocket. The same thing with the 200 or more social media influencers, whether they were TikTokers, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, that got bussed in and fed and got to hang out in a, hangar and whatever else, that were paid to be there also. The fact that the entire DNC is comprised of people who are either paid to be there or have political ties to it is extremely disturbing, in my opinion. You look at the RNC, the people in the crowd at the RNC, you and I, people like you and I, your neighbor, your mom, your dad, your cousin, your auntie, that's who was in the crowd at the RNC, not these paid shills that are sitting at the DNC. Anyways. Let's see, what is this one? Okay, so Trump, we talked about this yesterday. RFK Jr. talking about how he's going to back out of the race because he cannot get he can't even get a trial to get a judge to say that he has to be allowed onto ballots in different states. They're not even letting him do that. So RFK Jr. has said on Friday, today is Wednesday, so in 2 more days, he would be dropping out of the race and putting his name with Donald Trump. Donald Trump here speaks on RFK Jr. potentially dropping out, and when asked if he would put RFK Jr. in the administration, Trump says, "I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that happens. Let's make a deal." So let's see if I can get this to play.
Okay, because just moments ago, his running mate said that they were considering endorsing you. Have you considered him for a role in the administration, and what role would that be?
Well, we haven't, but I would love that endorsement because I've always liked him.
Would you also consider putting him in the administration?
You're asking me a very unusual question. I haven't been asked that question yet. I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that would happen.
So it might not be like an immediate thing. Come on, phone. It might not be like an immediate thing where RFK Jr. decides to back him and Trump goes, "Here, you can have this position." But I'm sure enough Americans like RFK and Jr. and his policies and what he wants and what he doesn't want that Trump would be able to find somewhere for him in his cabinet. And that would actually make the American people happy, because then you'd have 2 different styles that still are about the continuance of the America that we all know and love, not what the Democrats are trying to do to the America that we grew up in, that we know, that we love. I keep losing where I'm at on here. There's a lot of stuff, y'all. There's so much stuff to go through that it's absolutely ridiculous. And okay, so Bernie Sanders comes out talking about what the country should have, never saying any of those proposals or anything Kamala would do or has said she will do. And then he starts in on how radical Trump's Project 2025 is. Again, people keep talking about Project 2025 like it's his thing, like it has anything to do with Donald Trump, because it's all they have. This says Chuck Schumer. This is Chuck Schumer. "Why should American citizens be responsible to pay $5 billion to fund the wall?" This was a question that Schumer asked previously about the wall that Trump wanted to build. Better question, though. "Why should American citizens be responsible to pay $155 billion annually to make sure illegal immigrants are taken care of better than American citizens?" They are worried about $5 billion for a wall, but have no issue spending $155 billion on illegal immigrants, with everything that they have done in New York, in Chicago, in California, in every single sanctuary city that they have bused them to, driven them to, given them hotel rooms for, given them food, given them a cell phone, given them a debit card, given them all kinds of things. Yet our citizens, our men and women of the United States, are sitting homeless on a street with no help from the government. Our wounded warriors, our veterans, are sitting around with no help, very little help from our government. Yet people who are breaking into this country illegally, who are criminals, Kamala Harris, you dumb fuck, if you cross the border illegally, you are a criminal. They are getting paid to be here. We are getting taxed to be here. They are getting paid to be here. Make that shit make sense. Anyways, I piss myself off every once in a while. It's not your fault, guys. I apologize for that. Look, there's still so much to do. We're going to have to do 2 videos because I still have like 10 more. This is 30 minutes in. My phone is starting to overheat. So we're going to do a part 2 of this. But this is so far this is like the first half of the DNC, and then it just went buck wild off the rails. So that'll be coming a little bit later. Maybe we'll do that part live. I appreciate you, SquirrelTribe, for being here and always letting me have these conversations with you. It means the world to me. I love you immensely. I'm going to go now, fix breakfast for my husband and myself, and I will see you guys later. Bye.